Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me for today's webinar, which will focus on how to succeed on Amazon Australia. Hopefully you can all see and hear me, see my screen that is, and hear me speaking now. My name's Ryan and I will be the host of today's webinar, and I'm really lucky today to be joined by two experienced Amazon sellers and long-standing Neto customers. We have Nick from Cycling Deal and Wayne from Stuff with Plush Toys, who have both been selling through Amazon in the US for many years now. And their insights on how to succeed and how to gain a first mover advantage on Amazon will no doubt be very valuable to you all. In terms of the agenda for today's webinar, I'll start with a quick introduction to Amazon and specifically Amazon Australia. We'll then have a presentation from Nick, who's going to talk about how to prepare for Amazon. He'll talk a little bit about winning the buy box and becoming a high-rated seller, as well as returns, refunds, and customer service. We'll then pass over to Wayne from Stuff with Plush Toys. He's going to talk about, why you should be selling on Amazon, some tips for success on Amazon, as well as rules, regulations, and things to keep in mind. Okay, great. So let's get going. So I'm sure you're all well aware of Amazon and the impact it is having on retail across the globe. Many might not know that Amazon actually has many retail websites, including their main sites in the United States, in the United Kingdom, Ireland, France, Canada, Germany, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, Brazil, Japan, China, India, Mexico, and now finally Australia. And it's estimated that Australians already spend more than $700 million a year on the Amazon websites across the globe. That's before they've even arrived here in Australia. And in the US, Amazon now accounts for 43% of total retail sales, which is pretty incredible considering that was only 35%, I think, this time last year. So their growth at the moment is insane. Also interesting is that Amazon in the US is now the leading destination for consumers to start a product search online, beating out the likes of Google, with 55% of new product searches taking place on the Amazon websites. For merchants, there are two channels by which they can really sell through Amazon. The first is to become an Amazon marketplace seller, and the second is to become an Amazon vendor. So Amazon vendors are much like wholesalers or manufacturers that sell directly to Amazon. Amazon purchase the goods from the wholesaler or the manufacturer, they warehouse them, they sell them, and then they handle all the after-sales support. This is much like, I guess, a traditional wholesale retail type relationship. For marketplace sellers list their products on the Amazon marketplace and sell items as what they term third-party sellers. And ultimately, those sellers, yourselves, potentially control the pricing and stock availability. And as a third-party seller selling on the Amazon marketplace, you have the option to use Amazon's fulfillment service, otherwise known as Fulfillment by Amazon, or FBA. Now, FBA is not currently available in Australia, but our understanding is that it will be available sometime in the future. Therefore, the only fulfillment option for you as a third-party seller at the moment is merchant fulfilled, where you're actually fulfilling the goods, much like you would if you listed and sold through a marketplace like eBay. So if you're not already registered to be a third-party seller on Amazon, you can click on the sell link in the amazon.com.au header and register to become part of the Amazon Early Access program. And once you've been approved for that program, you'll gain access to Amazon Seller Central, and you'll start to have the opportunity to list and sell through the Amazon Australia marketplace. Now, Amazon aren't approving all sellers just yet, but there's a good chance you will be approved. So do go and register to sell through Amazon Seller Central. Okay, so let's meet our first presenter, Nick from Cycling Deal, who's going to take you through his experience of being a successful Amazon retailer. Thanks, Nick. Over to you.
Hello, Ryan. Thank you for inviting me to come to this webinar. It's Nick here. We are selling bicycle parts and accessories online. Also, we started in 2005, and actually we established a subsidiary in USA in Los Angeles in 2011, and we started selling on Amazon USA since then. And we found the Amazon is best marketplaces for selling online, and much better than eBay. I would say, sorry, I have to mention eBay, but like we're selling about 90% of our sales happen on Amazon USA, and 10% maybe from Walmart and eBay itself. So Amazon the way to go, and lucky we have Amazon Australia here, and we are getting Amazon orders from Australia website as well. So that's a good start. And so let's talk about something. Maybe you get your stocks ready and try to sell on Amazon. You have to change your pictures to, first of all, no text. The first image always have to be whatever the customer see, so they will receive. So basically, you can't like selling a bicycle repair stands with a bicycle onto it. Then you put it on. Amazon will ban your listing, ask you to change the picture. Then the listing will be shown on Amazon again. So to be prepared to change some pictures in Neto, ready for listing those products onto Amazon website.
Nick, can I just stop you there for a second, mate? Can you just try talk up a little bit? We're just having a few people in the chat room mention that they're having an issue hearing you. So maybe just, if you can, just try and talk up a bit, if that's all right.
Yes. Okay. So for the inventory management, Amazon may concerning about customers' service. So basically, you need to make sure you have stock on hand and be able to fulfill those orders. If you're getting Amazon orders, be ready to send out as soon as possible. So within 24 hours, and you're receiving very good customer reviews, and then your seller rating will be higher than other sellers. So in that case, you can win the buy box. So we're talking about buy box is like on Amazon listing. If you have 100 people that are selling the same item, so they will list 100 sellers against that one single listing. So you need to win the buy box to gain the orders. That is very important. We're talking about so some like order tracking and shipping updates. For Amazon, they always ask for tracking for all the orders. They have some like measurement, evaluate your selling performance, say how many orders without tracking, and you need to make sure. I would say every orders need a tracking number, and the online tracking website. Customer they can track it, and but Amazon is a good marketplace. So if you send a good to a customer and on a tracking website, let's say Australian Post, it's already delivered. The customer they said, "Oh no, I didn't receive it." But normally, Amazon do is they will credit the customers without deducting from the seller's revenue. So that's good for Amazon as well. For the pricing, basically Amazon have a very strict rules. For the same seller, if you're selling on eBay or your own website, normally, as in Australian ways, we selling on our own website cheaper than selling on eBay to attract more customers come to your own website. But for Amazon, you can't do that because Amazon will track the prices you're selling on Amazon. If they found you are selling cheaper in the other marketplaces, they will ban your account, ask you to change the prices within like a week. Then if you don't not changing, they will permanently ban you selling privileges on Amazon, so you never can be selling on Amazon again. That is very important. So you have to make sure all the marketplaces prices are same, or Amazon prices are lower. So I have the better experience, of course, when I'm selling on USA, but all fixed. Okay.
Okay, so play by the rules, I guess, is what you're saying, Nick.
Yes, have to. Otherwise, you have a lot of trouble. You lost 1 week sales.
And are you leveraging FBA in the States, or are you fulfilling all of the products yourself from your own warehouse?
In USA, we sell in 3 ways. First of all, we fulfillment in our own warehouse. Second is we selling by FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon, but we're selling on Amazon. And the third way, actually, we are the vendor of Amazon as well.
Okay, and
But
with
the
your
best way would be FBA.
Yeah, okay. And how do you then, as a business, how do you sort of decide what products you're going to have fulfilled by Amazon and which products you're going to fulfill in your warehouse? Are you sort of looking at, the demand for particular items and the ones that have got high demand you're putting in FBA, or what's your decision making behind that?
Basically, Amazon will recommend you which item is good for FBA. They will email to you. They will recommend you. So you will find there are a lot of emails you're receiving from Amazon. Sometimes annoying, but it's really helpful. And basically, the popular items, say one item, you're selling 30 a month, and then of course it is good product to be fulfilled by Amazon, and that item have to be small in cubic weight. So bulky items, for example, a bike box from us to fulfilled by Amazon maybe cost me $140, and which is not the right product to be fulfilled by Amazon. So
Okay. So that the size or the dimensions of the product do definitely come into it then. That's quite interesting.
yes.
And then,
Yes.
you mentioned before the importance of reviews and getting reviews, but I noticed that, on some products on Amazon where, they may have sold hundreds of the particular item, but they've only got a few reviews. Do you have any tips for getting people to actually review you after a purchase? Because obviously reviews have a big impact on your seller rating.
Yeah, the customer reviews are most important, I would say. But to be sell the item which is you believe that is the best value items, because if you're selling a really cheap quality product on Amazon, then it won't work. So Amazon system basically built to push best value items to be the best seller.
Okay.
So to gain the reviews, the product will, of course, automatically generate the reviews itself. So if a customer buying your product, which is the best value, they can't find anywhere else better than this, they are happy customers. They will write you very good reviews, video reviews, and also picture reviews. They will help your product to and then if you're getting some couple of good reviews from good customers, then of course your products will be selling better and better. And when you reach number one seller, then you're getting a lot of orders. Then the reviews, even you're getting more reviews. So this is gradually you build up your products. It's a long term for for build a new product reviews. But in Australian market, I believe everyone will start at the same place. So
yeah. So it's important to get that first mover advantage and start to build up those reviews now, so that you sort of own that buy box. Yeah.
Yes, and so start to selling on Amazon as early as you can, and you when you get the reviews and you are ranked number one in the selling quantity, number one seller, then it will be harder for your competitors to beat you or beat against you, or it will take a long time for them to do it. For example, we have a number one selling item, which is a bike repair stands we're selling in USA. It took me 2 years from the bottom to the number one bestseller. So it's a long time, but it's worth it.
And would you say, Nick, because other times that I've spoken to you, you've mentioned specific products. Would you say the approach with Amazon is not to be broad, but rather to be niche? Focus on your best products or the products that are really niche on Amazon, and put all your attention into a few products rather than trying to have a very broad, approach to selling. So I guess more focus on specific SKUs.
Yes, I would say that because, for example, okay, if you're selling an iPhone, everyone have an iPhone. You're selling on that. When you're considering selling something on Amazon, you will consider how much I can sell. What's my advantage? So if my product is cheaper than others, and is my product the best value? And the other thing is, if I'm selling the certain brand of this product, can I control this brand? I mean, will be this brand the factory selling Amazon directly later? Because Amazon basically has all your selling prices and all your selling quantity. They'll be able to sourcing all the products from your own factories. So they will cut you as a seller on Amazon. Basically, they contacted all my factories in Taiwan or in China, but we are the sole distributor, so we're lucky we can still maintain our products selling on Amazon.
Okay. And you mentioned earlier around pricing and making sure that you don't have a different price on Amazon to your own website or even through other sales channels like eBay. How about when you're conducting a sale through one of your other sales channels? So say on your website you're doing a Christmas sale and the price of the product is discounted for a period of time. Is it expected that you'll also do that discount on Amazon?
For the short time, I believe they can't complain, but you can't maintain that sales for a long period. For example, like 1 month, 2 months. Then as long as Amazon customers, they will report it to Amazon, say, look, this is the same seller they're selling on their website, $10 cheaper than Amazon. Amazon then will go back to your own website, and they will calculate the shipping cost and plus the sale price.
So they do take into account the shipping cost in terms of that over. So they take into account the overall cost, including shipping. It's not just about. Okay, that's a good point to make then. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, they will compare, like, say, okay, ship to Melbourne on your own website, how much in total, including shipping, and how much in total on Amazon. So they can compare that.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So keep going. Sorry, I interrupted you in the middle of your presentation, but I've got lots of great questions coming through.
Yeah. So basically, how the sellers ranked by Amazon. Of course, the buyers reviews and see if they're happy with the product, and that the delivery, within the time period you promised, and also FBA. But FBA is not available in Australia yet, but they will be available sooner or later. That is the key point. Why Amazon so successful? Because of they have FBA. So if Amazon without FBA, I believe they will be same as eBay. So FBA is the only difference between Amazon and eBay, I would say. So they will be very successful in Australia, I believe, in the near future.
Which is largely driven, though, by Amazon Prime, right? Because the advantage of Amazon Prime is that anything that's FBA, you ultimately can get through your Amazon Prime membership for free from a shipping perspective, yeah?
Yes. If
Amazon
example
Prime,
like, okay, for example, you have one product selling with two sellers, one selling by FBA, the other seller by FBM. Then if you're selling $100 and the other seller selling FBA 110, the FBA item maybe will win the buy box. So FBA is a very big factor to win a buy box. So Amazon basically encourage all the sellers to sending their stocks to Amazon warehouse instead of fulfilled by merchants.
So just sorry, we've got a few questions coming through on what is FBA and what is FBM. So I'll just quickly explain that again. So FBA is where you as a retailer, you send some of your stock to Amazon. They warehouse the stock, and when you sell it on the Amazon website, Amazon ship it to the customer on your behalf. So you still list the product, but Amazon ship it on your behalf. So think of it a little bit like a 3PL, a traditional 3PL operation. FBM is fulfilled by merchant. So you list it on Amazon and you ship it to your end users. So that's fundamentally the difference between the two. And like I said earlier in the webinar, FBA is not yet available in Amazon. So what Nick is talking about here is what he's doing in the US. But it is our understanding that FBA will be launched in Australia in the future, hence why he's sort of talking about it here today. Sorry, Nick. Just a question also around fees, I guess. I know people can find out what Amazon seller fees are through Amazon Seller Central, but did you want to sort of, from your experience, talk a little bit about selling fees?
The selling fees for Amazon, they have two selling fees. One is referral fees. Normally for our products, I know it's 15%. Of course, it's including referral fees and also payment fees as well. So everything. Not like selling on eBay, you have to pay eBay fees, and also you have to pay PayPal fees and credit card charge fees, all kind of things. But,
so that's an interesting point, Nick. That's what you're making there, which I think a lot of people won't understand either. Is the difference? Another big difference with Amazon and eBay and maybe your own website even is that you don't take the payment directly from the customer yourself. Amazon take the payments and then they pay you periodically. And maybe if you could also provide some, I guess, insights into how long retailers should expect to wait to receive payment from Amazon, and what are some of the things that they should look out for, in between the time of receiving an order and receiving that payment, for example, refunds and returns and things like that.
Yeah. So basically, the revenue you're receiving from Amazon, they were holding for 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, they were credited into your nominated bank account. Of course, they will deduct the referral fees or FBA fees in the future if they're deducting. And then that is why I like to use FBA and FBN to selling on Amazon, because as a vendor, you expect your payment 60 days. and they will deduct 1% of the early payment, and I believe 60 days are early payment, and they will deduct 9% of the 9% of the discount as well. So the best way is to sell as a third-party merchant on Amazon is the way to go, I would say.
You mentioned referral fees. What do you mean by referral fees? Sorry, a few people
Referral
asking that question.
fees is like you're selling $100 on Amazon, they deduct $15.
Okay, so like that's their commission, yeah?
Yeah, commission. That's their commission.
Much the same as eBay's commission, but eBay's is based on price bands, for example.
Yeah, and that makes things harder. Amazon, they don't have like on eBay, the maximum referral fees you are paying is $100, but on Amazon, there's no limit.
Yeah.
So basically, it makes harder for expensive items with low profit margin to selling on Amazon itself.
Yeah.
So like if you're selling $1,000 and you only make $100, it's impossible to selling these items on Amazon.
Yeah. Okay. And would you say we've got a few people, asking questions around postage costs and building postage costs into their product pricing so that they can be free shipping through Amazon? What's your opinion around that? Do you charge for shipping? Do you do free shipping? And that's, I guess, not for FBA, but for FBM goods.
Yeah. Nowadays, basically, online customers, they expect free shipping from quality vendors. So basically, if you're selling online, I would say always offer free shipping. So encourage people to buying from your website or Amazon. And of course, you can charge shipping on your customer, but the customer won't feel happy at all.
Okay. And you said something here, I see, under how reviews work. If a customer asks a question about an item, previous reviewers will get an alert to answer. Can you sort of explain that in a little bit more detail?
Sorry, say it again, please.
The bullet point that you have here on the slide, which is if a customer asks a question about an item, previous reviewers will get an alert to answer. So how does that work?
So do you mean like if you're selling an item and you're asking customer to review it? Can you ask it?
Yeah, well, you just have on your slide here, if a customer asks a question about an item, previous reviewers will get an alert to answer.
Yeah. So basically, if the customers, they look at your products on Amazon, they can actually ask the questions in public. So basically, they can type in, ask questions, and will this product compatible with my item? And then actually all the customers previous purchased from you who can receive a question from Amazon, and they can reply to the question. And normally customers trust customers more than sellers. So that is another unique question and answers from Amazon. That is why Amazon is so successful.
Interesting. Yeah, really interesting. Okay, so your last slide there, returns, refunds, and customer service. So tell us a little about how you sort of handle that and why that's so important on Amazon.
Yeah, for the returns, refunds, customer services, of course, it would be same as eBay or online. Successful sellers have to be concentrated on after sales service. Basically, returns. Normally, if it's faulty items, you need to pay the shipping, get the faulty item back to your warehouse, and at a very short time, you have to refund it to the customers. For the refund of Amazon, that would be very easy. Not like on eBay, you needed to refund the customers. You needed to get the seller fees back. Probably you needed to ask customers to cancel cancel the orders, something like that. 45 days later, you can't do anything. You lost your seller fees. You paid it to eBay, but on Amazon's, you can refund at any time. At the same time of the refund, you get the Amazon seller fees back straight away. So it's a real-time credited into your Amazon account, and it's much better than other marketplaces. Of course, for the handling time, you need to limit it into 1 day. So you have to respond all the customer complaints within 24 hours, 1 business day, I would say.
And that's critical in terms of your seller rating and therefore, winning the buy box. So customer services is critical, and I guess is one of the reasons why Amazon is so successful, because they're so, customer centric as an organization, right?
Yes, that is extremely important for customers, for sellers and the customers, of course.
And in terms of those returns, do you, the seller, lose the initial seller fee that you pay to Amazon if a customer returns a product, or you have to do a refund, or do you still earn that initial fee?
That initial fee will be credited into your account straight away when you refund it. So,
okay.
So if you refund $10, you get another $1.50 back from Amazon.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. Okay, that's great, Nick. Well, we're going to bring Wayne in now for a little presentation. Obviously, if you can still stay on the line and answer questions as we go, because I'm sure there'll be more questions as Wayne goes through his presentation. Just for all the attendees, we're having a few technical difficulties on Wayne's side with his microphone. So we're actually going to bring him in on a mobile speaker now. So you should be able to hear him fine. Hopefully you can. If you can't, please do comments in the chat, but we'll do our best. So, Wayne, can you hear me, mate?
I can hear you loud and clear. I hope I'm coming through on these 2 bits of string and tin cans.
Well, let's hope we are. Looks like we are. We've got some comments coming back from the audience, so that's great. So thanks, Wayne. So Wayne's obviously from Stuff with Plush Toys. He's a long-standing Neto customer and also an Amazon veteran, and hence why we've asked him to join us today to share his insights on, what it takes to become a successful Amazon seller. So over to you, Wayne. Cheers.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of this. And just up front, need to let you know that we're probably not as involved or as big as Nick's business on Amazon in the US, but it's becoming a substantial part of our business. We started Stuff with Plush Toys strictly on eBay back in 2006. Due to changes in their feedback rules, I could see that we needed our own website, and started to build a website on a different system to Neto back in those days. We got into Plush Toys completely by chance. A fishing tackle business ended up folding due to lack of good supply, and we had a chance meeting with an importer of plush, and from there we went from selling just one their particular brand to now stocking 40 brands that are genuinely world class, and we deal with a lot of importers, and we import ourselves. Back in 2013, with some issues on our former web platform, we decided to move to Neto. Probably the best decision that we've ever made, and very, very happy with the system. It's helped us grow quite a lot. All right. People ask me, why are you selling on Amazon US? Well, we were doing particularly well through our website. We were doing particularly well via eBay, and a good chunk of our business was international. And we seem to have got our international shipping set up quite well. We've got pretty good rates, and as long as we fulfilled under Amazon's rules, which are to have tracking, ship on time, we looked at it and thought, well, we can ship to the US customers, anybody that buys via Amazon.com. Quite simply, we'd just be doing exactly the same as we do on eBay. So we thought we'd give it a go. We uploaded manually 150 SKUs to start, and we were manually managing inventory and orders, and it was quite tiresome. But through the magic of the Neto system and some clever feeds for stock and orders, we've been able to bring the manual part down to quite a small part, and now we've put our whole range on there. The Amazon system we find quite easy if you're listing products that are already in the catalogue, because you can just link via UPC or barcode. But we generally try and sell products that we haven't found on Amazon yet, or products that we have exclusively through distributors or items that we've imported ourselves. We find that that's probably the best way. I also need to emphasise that we are an FBM, or fulfilled by merchant seller only. We ship product from Australia to the customers. We don't use FBA. I note on the slide I've got there some items sell for up to 30% more than other sellers. The situation where this occurs, what Nick's been talking about, the buy box, is where Amazon themselves or other sellers don't have stock of a particular item. We have a percentage costing that we use, and we don't budge from that, and our prices can be 20 to 30% more expensive, and we're obviously not in the buy box. But when other people run out of stock, we suddenly find those products start selling. This is particularly relevant in some of the major brands, because the major brands in the US might discontinue a product, whereas Australia's still got stock. And Amazon customers just want to replace, a toy for their kid that they've had for 5 years or whatever. And we do particularly well in that kind of niche. And this year in November, our sales compared to November last year were 135% up. And I think this week we're at about 100% based on Christmas last year. So it's pretty good.
And just quickly, Wayne, one of the questions that came through while you're talking was just around what barcode system or standard do you use? So I guess maybe do you create your own barcodes, or are you leveraging the barcodes that the manufacturers are already labeling the products with?
Yeah, we leverage the manufacturers' barcodes a lot of the time. In that case, there's either UPCs if they're an American-based company, EAN barcodes if they're UK or Australian. A lot of the stuff that comes out of China is EAN. So we just use those barcodes. You can also, on some of the products that we sell that are quite niche, they don't have barcodes. They have a SKU, obviously a manufacturer's part number, but they don't have barcodes. This is from very small companies who've not quite got to that stage yet. And all we do in that case is we apply for what's called a Gtin Exemption. It's a very simple process, only takes a few minutes, and Amazon then lets you list that product, and they will assign what they call an ASIN, which is the Amazon number. So barcodes are not the be-all and end-all. You don't have to have them if you've got your own products. So everybody out there, look up Gtin Exemption, and it's a fairly simple process.
Yeah, that's great. That's really great advice. And also, obviously, I mean, because you're doing FBM and into the States, what postal services have you found, to be best for you?
Okay, so a lot of people say, well, how do you ship using Australia Post? Well, we've been dealing with Australia Post for 12 years, and we've always had decent international volume. So a lot of our rates, people are not going to be able to get when they're starting off, unfortunately, because we've definitely got the history there. I would suggest to people that DHL e-commerce is a good company to start looking at now. They have some pretty competitive rates out there that people can use with tracking. It's 5 days door-to-door in the States, and 4 or 5 days into Europe as well. So at the moment, we put the bulk of our products through Australia Post. But as I said, we do have a very, very good relationship with Australia Post. Okay,
great. Yeah, so sorry to stop you there. Keep going.
Okay. So, a few things that I would say to people if, and this is going to be, you'll be able to use this on Amazon in the US, or you'll be able to use it on Amazon in Australia as well. We will probably go live in Amazon Australia next week when we've tweaked a few of our products for the Australian market. We've always found it's best to be niche, understand your products as well as you can, and try and find products that are not already or that are not already in the catalogue. If you are trying to sell well-known branded products against everyone else, the buy box is going to belong to the cheapest person with good customer service generally. As I said, we've won the buy box on higher pricing, but you've really got to make sure that you have good customer service, great metrics. Try and find a product that there's very little competition on. Sounds easy. It's not easy, but when you do, that's where you're going to find a lot of success. The other thing is that images are super, super important. I think Nick's already talked about this. It's really important to have that white background, have them bigger than 1,000 pixels on the shorter side, and I find if you have lots of them, you cannot put any watermarks on there or text. You shouldn't be doing that anyway because you should be using the same images for Google Shopping and they will knock you back on watermarks. So awesome images of exactly what the product is. Keep them up to date if you change any part of the item and you'll be fine. The other thing that we found quite useful is that, particularly in the US, is that Amazon has a great user seller forum, and you get the normal whinging and moaning that you get in every single forum, but there are some people there that are willing to contribute an awful lot of help when you get in a pickle, when you're having conflict with customers. They'll give you standard replies. They'll help you get past inauthenticity claims. It's a really, really good resource that you should use, and that when I speak to people who are looking at Amazon, they don't even know about it, and they're not using it. They should. It's really important.
And have you had any problems around sort of authenticity in terms of getting your products registered on Amazon? Have you had to provide any additional information to Amazon themselves in terms of maybe supplier invoices or proof of a product being, a branded good? I note that a few other sellers have had issues getting onto the Amazon Australia market in that respect.
Okay, so this is one of my bugbears with Amazon that's I don't know whether everybody wants to hear it, but what happens is we had about 4 products that nobody else on Amazon was selling. We had very good relationships with the supplier in Australia. We started selling the product very well, and all 4 items suddenly had an inauthenticity claim against them. We had to provide 12 months worth of invoices with all of the supplier details, all of the supplier contact details, and immediately we did that, they were reinstated. Now, these are brand new products to Amazon in the US. It's unlikely that anybody, any seller, any buyer was claiming that these were inauthentic. They were selling very well. They had no complaints. It just makes you wonder that maybe Amazon land banking that information for future. And this is something that everybody has to be aware of. Amazon own the customers. Amazon own that business. Amazon will probably own your products at some stage.
And that's on to your next slide then. Things to keep in mind.
All right. So, look, these are not cons. These are things you just need to be aware of. Okay, so Amazon own the customer relationship, and I think we've run through this a little bit before. You're not allowed to put coupons inside the packages. There's no branded packaging, no advertising material. You just need to be aware that you are shipping basically on behalf of Amazon, even though they've deemed you capable enough to sell on the marketplace. It's a very standoff type relationship, not one that everybody's comfortable with. But in the US, you are put in front of a bigger set of buyers than really anything other than China. So these are things that you play by their rules, live by their rules, love it or leave it. It's not bad. We've been on there over 18 months now, and it's not something that concerns me when I'm selling good volumes. With returns, it's not quite as it says on the slide. So we've had a couple of situations recently. They changed the rules a few months back where Amazon, even for an FBM fulfilled by merchant seller, they will automatically approve a return for whatever reason. So you get customers trying it on, of course, saying, this. They actually change their mind, but they say something's damaged. You have no comeback on that. You literally just accept the return and refund the customer. So the situation that we have is that in some situations, when we look at the value of the product, we'll literally just refund the customer straight up and don't get the product back. It's not worth it. It's not worth paying the shipping. But a lot of the time, we've now set up a US returns base. So we get products returned. We have to pay the shipping. It gets returned to the US. We'll store those there. We'll either resend them out from there or get them all shipped back here in bulk for resale at a later time. The most important thing with this is the return system and the amount of returns is something that I've not seen on any other platform. We get nowhere near this close on our website. We get nowhere near this close on eBay. Returns are something that you're going to have to monitor over 12 months and then factor it into your selling price. It's super important. Super important.
And just on that first point there, Wayne, where you say no branded packaging. So a number of Australian retailers, given the fact that it is quite easy nowadays to get your packaging branded, your boxes, your tape. I know I did with my online retail business. So it's important to note that if you do that now for your own web store, for your eBay store, you can't do that. For Amazon, you can't use that same packaging for Amazon. Is that correct?
That's correct. We actually have a separate processing line for orders that go out to Amazon.
Yeah.
So in our picking system, we note which are Amazon, and they get dealt with differently to website and eBay in our workflow. They do test buys. If they find coupons or if they find brand new packaging, they are ruthless. They will turn you off just first strike.
Yeah.
They'll literally turn you off and you cannot sell there ever again. So it's not worth taking the risk.
Yeah. And one thing I guess we've done with our integration is make sure that, for example, shipping tracking notifications aren't going out to customers from their own web store, and the same with follow-up emails and whatnot. But obviously it is important for people to be very mindful of the fact that if you have got an automated email marketing system set up, that you will need to consider make sure that you're not communicating with Amazon customers through those systems.
Yeah, the messaging system in Seller Central is the only place you should ever talk to a customer.
And for those of you that don't know, when you do get an order from Amazon, although you'll get the customer's details for the shipment, so obviously you can ship it to the customer, you'll be provided with what they call a masked email address. So it's not the customer's real email address, it's an Amazon email address that when you respond to it will actually go through Amazon Seller Central, meaning that obviously any email going through their system is potentially being monitored. So just be aware of that.
They have a very, very good filtering system and AI screening system for that. If you're allowed to put like shipping tracking links, but if you put anything that's related to a URL or anything that's outside their norm, i.e. back to your website or anything like that, they know and they will pop up. It will pop up and say, "Hey, we've noted you're doing this. Don't do it again."
And just a couple of questions have come through around the barcode exemption that you mentioned and the name of it, and where people can find that information. I think that sparked quite a lot of interest because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are manufacturing and importing goods to sell on eBay, their own web store, and they don't have barcodes at the moment. So.
Okay, so I haven't logged into Seller Central in Australia for a couple of days, but I know that GTIN, it's Golf Tango India November, GTIN exemption is what you're looking for. So I know it is available in Seller Central in Amazon Australia now. It's when you go to list a product in Seller Central and it says, "Do you have a barcode?" There's a thing there where it says, "No, I don't have one." It will then push you through to a information section about GTI exemption, and you basically have to upload a small spreadsheet with the your SKU or MPN, your manufacturer's part number, a title, and I think that's basically it. You then submit that spreadsheet. Within 24 hours, they come back and say, "Hey, no problems. We authorise this. Please make sure you list your new items under this SKU with exactly the same title, and it will be approved automatically."
Okay. Cool.
So that's what you do. Yeah.
And then another question, I guess, came through I can actually probably answer this one, which is around with Neto's Amazon integration. Do we have a tool that prevents you from listing a product at a higher price on Amazon than, say, eBay or your own web store? We don't, but what we do allow you to do is sync your Amazon pricing with any of your price groups in Neto. So if you want to be 100% confident, always make sure that the price group you select for listing to with Amazon is the same price group you're using for your own web store, and that they're synced, and that way, in theory, you shouldn't have any problems. Okay, so was that the last slide there, Wayne?
Yeah, I think there was just one more point.
Yeah.
It was just my feelings on how Amazon Australia is going to go. I'm upbeat. The best thing for me about Amazon Australia is it's just going to get more eyes in front of more computer screens. Therefore, more people are going to be buying online, whether they buy on Amazon or whether they buy through my website or on eBay. My policy, I think, always, whenever you and I talk about this, Ryan, is I like to be in front of my customers wherever they are. So we are putting 100% into getting onto Amazon Australia, and we'll start off with FBM and see how it goes. I think that Amazon is not going to rule the roost in the short term because of the history of eBay that we have in this country and people's mindset. But it's definitely going to stir things up a little bit, and I think most serious people in e-commerce are looking at it with serious eyes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think when you consider the fact that Australia's leading online retailer, being Catch of the Day, has more items probably on Amazon right now than any other retailer in this country, and those guys really do know what they're doing. And having spent some time in their offices last week, earlier this week, it was really evident that that is the way. You do need to be wherever the customer is. Not everyone's going to join every loyalty program, and I think once Prime launches in this country, the rapid uptake of Catch's loyalty program, the Catch Club, and no doubt there'll be others. Consumers are not going to want to join everything, and so it is important that you're there and you're part of what someone is a part of. And then another thing to take into consideration is the evolution of technology, right? And the fact that Amazon and eBay, they're really technology companies. And, recently we heard that eBay partnered with Google Home to deliver voice commerce. Amazon's got Amazon Alexa. That's going to land in Australia early next year. You as a small business retailer or even medium business retailer, you can't expect to develop that technology and get mass adoption of that technology yourself. So for you to be in people's homes, for you to be accessible by Google Home, by Amazon Echo, you really need to be on these marketplaces. It's not a matter of it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, right? So I think you're right. Everyone needs to be everywhere, and that's very much what Neto is about. It's about making retailers agnostic to the sales channel, so that they can provide a personalized experience wherever that might be. I just got a couple of other questions around. Okay, this one's just around accessing Amazon AU, and a lot of people have been trying to apply, I guess, for the early access program and haven't got through. We're aware of that. We get told that every day. I think sort of Amazon are sort of picking and choosing retailers based on how they want to orchestrate and build their catalog. No doubt they will open it up to all sellers eventually. It is in early access mode at the moment. But I would say, just keep trying. You submitted one application, try again. I know that they are rapidly onboarding merchants and they're wanting to fill that catalog. After all, Amazon is about having the earth's widest selection, right? So they're not going to stop in that respect. And then someone else, I guess, was asking, and maybe both Nick and you, Wayne, can answer this question, but can you actually use Amazon, and do you feel you can use Amazon to help build your brand, or is it really just a mechanism to get more sales and more revenue?
So
Nick, you want to go first?
Yeah, basically to build up a brand, I have experience because all my products, mainly my products under my brand.
Nick's talking now. I don't think you can hear him, Wayne.
Sorry.
I'll let you know when he's finished.
No worries.
So basically, to build up a brand on Amazon, that is the best way to do. And you also can register your brand on Amazon with Amazon. So in that case, you don't need any barcode. If this brand is under your brand, they're only using SKU to identify your item. And you can prevent other sellers selling against your brand or under your products. You can ask Amazon to remove other unauthorized sellers to selling under that brand. So I would say if you have your own brand, go to register on Amazon.
Okay, I might pass over to you, Wayne, for your comments.
Okay, so a lot of people talk about brands and branded products and white labels, private labeling. Amazon is really, really good if you want to get into that side of things in regards to making your own brand. As Nick said, you can brand register and then stop people, and you can actually develop your own products. You're totally in charge. When I think about brands, I think about my business as a brand. So Stuffed with Plush Toys is my brand, but I don't have any actual branded Stuffed with Plush Toys. I sell other people's brands. So to me, when people say, can I still build my brand on Amazon? Absolutely, because every time they go and look at any product that I'm selling, it still has my business name and my brand name there, my trademark name there. So we find that over time, people, if they're buying from you via Amazon, they may still decide to come to you directly. And we find that, like even this morning, I had somebody message me through eBay. Next thing you know, they purchased on the website. I think it's really important when you're setting your account up, don't have a different name. A lot of people disagree. We've got our business brand name on there. I want people to know it's Stuffed with Plush Toys, and then one day they may come to my website directly. Either way, they're still buying from me, and I'm still giving them the best amount of service I possibly can. But yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay, awesome. And just one other question, I guess. I'm not sure if either of you have a lot of products that have got sort of child or parent and child relationships, so products with variations. And just a question around when you're registering new products on Amazon, is it better to list it as a parent-child type relationship, or just register each product as an individual product as a child item, but as an individual item? Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Okay, so basically on Amazon, you're ranking based on the quantity you're selling, and also if you are best sellers, Amazon will give you a best seller tag, which is yellow, and of course, if you list every child product on one parent product, you will gain more sales than single listings, and you probably will win the best sellers tag in the category. If you have that tag, normally you get much more sales than others without the tag, of course.
Okay, great. That's really great information. Wayne, did you have anything you wanted to add to that, or?
Look, I tell you, it's above my pay grade, that one, because every single item we sell is a different SKU, so okay. I don't have variations.
No worries.
The back-end listing system on Amazon for variations is scaring me, to be honest.
Okay. Okay, no worries. Okay, well, we'll just wrap up. There's a lot of people that are in this webinar that actually are not familiar with Neto, not Neto customers, but have subscribed to the webinar just out of the interest that Amazon is obviously, bringing to online retail in this country. So I'm just going to take this opportunity really quickly to explain what Neto is all about. So Neto is really the only Australian retail management platform that provides a complete solution for e-commerce, point of sale, inventory, and fulfillment. And our integrated back-end technology enables an exceptional and consistent customer experience via any channel, be it in-store, online, or through a marketplace like eBay or Amazon, ultimately future-proofing our customers in what is obviously becoming an increasingly competitive market. What we're really about and what we're really focusing on is becoming, truly agnostic to the sales channel. So at the moment, we've released our Amazon integration. We've been a partner of eBay now for many years. We're working on our Catch of the Day integration, our Trade Me integration, our My Deal integration, which will be launching in the next few months, just really enabling everyone to sell everywhere. In terms of our Amazon integration allows you to seamlessly manage your Amazon listings, customers, and sales all from one central control panel. And our inbuilt setup was it makes connecting to your Amazon account from Neto really quick and easy. And from there, you can set rules for pricing and stock, ensuring that your products appear how and when you want them to. A very important part of our system, in fact, is that centralized stock management, which enables you to ensure that you have accurate stock across all of your sales channels, and probably more importantly, accurate pricing across all of your sales channels. As you've heard from today's webinar, making sure that you have the same price across all your sales channels at all times is becoming more and more important. And then, getting your orders out quickly is also exceptionally important. So our order management system integrates with Amazon, and then you can print your shipping labels for all the major shipping carriers directly from within our platform and get those Amazon orders out quickly and easily. And once you get them out, our system will automatically update Amazon with tracking information. Our first release of our Amazon integration went out this week, but it's not the end in terms of the features and functionality that platform will deliver. Over the next couple of days, in fact, we're releasing a bunch of new features, and we'll continue to release features until it meets the needs of large Amazon sellers. So real-time inventory and order sync is something that's coming out soon. At the moment, it syncs periodically, so every few minutes, depending on if it's orders or if it's inventory that's syncing. You'll also be able to do your Amazon product registration directly from within the Neto control panel very soon, rather than having to actually log into Amazon Central to register new products. So Wayne was talking about, going in and adding new products, barcodes, etc. into Amazon and then linking your inventory to them. You'll be able to do that new product registration directly from within Neto. And we've built it in such a way that it's very scalable and easy in terms of we allow you to map your product fields in Neto to Amazon related fields and map your product categories in Neto to related Amazon categories. So it's sort of a set and forget type setup. Once you've set it up once, you know that when you add a product to Neto, a new product, it will automatically be added to Amazon in the right category and the right fields will be mapped. We're also improving significantly our Amazon listing manager pages at the moment, just to give our customers more visibility over the status of particular products on Amazon. And like I said, we're extending the number of marketplaces that our merchants have access to into Catch of the Day, Trade Me, and My Deal over the next couple of months. We're also launching Amazon US in the next a few weeks, I believe. So we have actually got our Amazon US integration working, but we prioritize getting Amazon Australia out the door, seeing as that's our primary market and our focus at the moment. But Amazon US will be coming very soon. So I guess that's really a wrap on today's webinar. We've had a great number of really excellent questions come through. Nick and Wayne, thank you so much for joining us. A lot of really great tips and hints in your comments today, so really appreciate it. It's an exciting time for Australian online retail. It's challenging, but it's also a great opportunity, I think, to get a first mover advantage on what will no doubt be, one of the leading online retail destinations in this country very, very soon. We will be, and we have been recording this webinar, and we will be putting up a recording online soon. Any questions that have come through that haven't been answered, we'll do our best to answer them post the webinar. But yeah, that's a wrap. So thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of the festive season. Hopefully you get a break in between all the crazy order processing and shipping, labeling, and everything else you guys do. But yeah, thanks, Nick. Thanks, Wayne. And thanks, everyone, for joining me today.
Thank you.